So another way to improve the output from your large language models is using the cloud APIs and SDKs. Now, the application programming interfaces are the way you talk to the model. But if you use the cloud APIs and you use the software development kits, in a lot of cases, they've added additional features because adding these features is easier than supervised fine tuning. So in the previous example, we talked about using supervised fine tuning to improve the output. But let's say I'm doing something like named entity recognition. And what I'm doing is I'm taking a PDF, I'm turning it into text, and then I want to extract different fields and I want to get a JSON object back. That's called named entity recognition. Now, if you're doing that on a local model, you're going to need to do supervised fine tuning and you're going to need to pass in a bunch of text and extract a bunch of data out of it. And the reason you're doing that is the model is just too small with too few parameters to be good at something like named entity recognition. But if you're using something like ChatGPT 4o Mini, it is really good at named entity recognition. But instead of having to do this through this giant prompt where you're creating this prompt that says, I'm going to pass in this text document and these are the things I want, the SDK has functions that allow you to do named entity recognition, extractive summarization, which means you can run a function to extract certain data out of the results and summarize it, or you pass something in and it brings out summaries, or sentiment identification, where you're trying to get the tone. So you pass in a prompt, like let's say an email, and you want to know, is this email friendly? Is it threatening? Is it, what is it? What is the tone of it? That's sentiment identification. And you can do that by using the cloud APIs and SDKs. And these cloud APIs and SDKs are basically created because you're not going to be able to do supervised fine tuning on a cloud model because they're proprietary. But there's a lot of things that you would need to do SFT for. And so what they've just done is they've created additional functionality into their API and their SDK that's not available on the local models that you can then use for improving the output and getting more capabilities out of your cloud-based model. So APIs and SDKs in the cloud models is another way to improve the output of your large language models.